your luggage.
Yes! That's awesome!
Welcome to Random Movie Reviews. I'm Nathan, and today I'll be talking about Eraser. Shout out to 00 Stefan, one of my followers who's been subscribed to me for a while. He mentioned that I should wear my dope-ass robe for another video, and I decided I'm going to, because this thing is just too darn comfortable, and I watched the movie while wearing this, so it's rather fitting I do the review while wearing it. With that out of the way, I want to talk about an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but not just any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. One that has been kind of forgotten by most people, although they're like with most Schwarzenegger movies, there's always that small minority of fans that will always champion pretty much any Schwarzenegger movie, more or less. So this movie definitely has a somewhat of a cult following, but it is a Schwarzenegger film that is often not talked about when we talk about his legacy, especially in the action genre. And this is not the first time that I've talked about Schwarzenegger on this channel. I did a video talking about Terminator. I also did one talking about Commando. For anyone interested, I'll link those videos in the description below. I have not met an action movie fan who doesn't love at least one Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I mean, his catalog of films speak for themselves. Terminator 1 and 2. Total Recall, Predator, Conan the Barbarian, and Conan the Destroyer. Hell, even Running Man, one of his weaker action movies, is still pretty awesome. And of course, there's True Lies, the movie that is often considered to be Schwarzenegger's last truly great action movie. It also just happened to be the last movie he made with James Cameron being the filmmaker, which, by the way, I completely agree with that. I absolutely love True Lies. I think it's a fantastic movie, and I do think it is his last truly great one. But Eraser, which is a movie that came out roughly 2 years after True Lies, is a movie that I watched for the first time during the pandemic. It was one of those movies that I kind of just threw on in the background, was looking for something to ignore, but I ended up getting into it because it's just flat out entertaining. Stupid, ridiculously stupid in many parts, but thoroughly entertaining. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this movie is because A, it's a forgotten Schwarzenegger film that I think for fans of action movies who have not seen this movie and you enjoy particularly cheesy and over-the-top dumb action, you're going to get a lot of entertainment value watching this movie, trust me. And B, one of the things I've always wanted to do with this channel is talk about movies, you know, of all sorts of different genres and quality, and hence the name Random Movie Reviews. But for me, as much as I love movies, and as, you know, depending on the movie I'm talking about, sometimes I can come off as overly pretentious when analyzing a movie and breaking down themes and symbolism and all of that stuff. At the end of the day, I just want a movie to be entertaining. And that is a broad term. It can be entertaining intellectually, it can be entertaining emotionally, it can be entertaining in terms of just appreciating the craft of filmmaking, or it can be entertaining in terms of just, this movie is so dumb, but I'm grinning from ear to ear watching it. And that Eraser is a perfect example of a movie that's just flat out entertaining. And I will love any movie, regardless if it's so bad it's good or it's so good that it's good. At the end of the day, if I'm entertained, then to me it's a good movie. That's the way I look at it. But before we get into the specifics, let's do a brief overview of the plot. So the film centers around U.S. Marshal John Kruger, who is a eraser who specializes in erasing witnesses and giving them new identities, putting them in the witness protection program. And he is tasked with erasing Lee Cullen, played by Vanessa Williams, who works for a company named Cyraz, who specializes in creating military weapons. And she discovered that her company is making an electromagnet rifle that is going to be sold on the black market. She gets in contact with the FBI, tells them about the conspiracy, and then John Kruger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is tasked with helping her get out alive until they go to trial. But of course, very predictably and very cliche-ridden, we find out John's team, who is a part of the U.S. Marshals and a part of the FBI, are in on this conspiracy. And now John and Lee have to work together in order to get out of this alive and in order to prove the conspiracy is real and to help stop the rail guns, as they call them, from getting out onto the streets and being sold in the black market. So yeah, not the most original plot ever. Very cliche, very standard. But what makes this movie so much fun is that the amount of ridiculous scenes in this movie is absolutely insane. I mean, the opening scene alone, you see Schwarzenegger look borderline like a ninja, slams a guy's head into a freezer and uses it to snap his neck. That's badass. We see him in the opening of the movie show what he's capable of in terms of being this eraser. Rescues this guy, this gangster Italian character who ends up being very important in the second half of this movie, which is kind of hilarious. And that's how the movie starts. It sets the tone perfectly. From there, you get scenes like where Schwarzenegger figures out that his superior, played by James Caan, who's clearly having a blast playing a hammy, campy bad guy in this movie.
Did I give you an evaluation yet?
Evaluation?
Yeah. A+, kid. God damn it. Give me a wet nap or something, will you?
They're looking to murder the witness that Schwarzenegger's trying to protect. They're on a plane when this happens. We get a shootout, and then Schwarzenegger gets a parachute that accidentally goes flying out of the plane. This is before he destroys the plane by throwing a chair or some sort of debris out of the window that goes right into like the, I don't know what you call that, like the turbine, immediately destroying it. And then he goes flying out of the plane a la Point Break style, and is gonna gets the parachute in midair, deploys it, and then James Caan tries to get the pilot to ram him with the fucking plane. Schwarzenegger then starts shooting at the plane. It's just like, I remember the first time watching it, and when that scene was going on, I was like, dude, I cannot believe what I'm looking at. This is hilariously over the top. And then you add to the fact that the 90s CGI digital effects have aged horribly, but for whatever reason, that just adds to the enjoyment of the film for me. You get scenes that show the rail gun, right? This is the main gun, the plot MacGuffin, if you will, that the movie centers around. We have to stop these crazy futuristic guns that are X-ray vision. They like fire like, it's almost like a laser beam, and then you have like this digital CGI smoke that has also aged horribly. But dude, when that gun hits somebody, it packs a fucking punch.
Oh, shit!
And you know that this movie is going to be an absolute banger, where in the climax of the film, Schwarzenegger is dual-wielding these bad boys and is just shooting everything in sight, blowing everything up. There's a ton of explosions in this movie. There's a ton of people getting shot, ton of people getting blown up. Terrific action one-liners. In fact, the one-liner that ends this movie is one of Schwarzenegger's absolute best, in my opinion.
Oh my god, holy shit! What happened?
They caught a train.
What's funny about watching this movie is that one of the movies that I definitely plan on talking about in this channel in the future is a movie called The Last Action Hero. Now, that's a Schwarzenegger movie that at the time of its release underperformed greatly in comparison to most of Schwarzenegger's other films. It's a movie that was co-written by Shane Black, who I've talked a lot about on this channel. I'm a big Shane Black fan. And that movie is, for those who haven't seen it, is a meta-commentary / satire on action movies. The plot revolves around a boy who's an action movie fan. He has a magical movie ticket. He gets sucked into the movie, and we get to see the movie make fun of itself in terms of all the action cliches that we see. What's funny is that this movie, Eraser, came out like 3 or 4 years after that movie, and this is like the type of movie like that kid in Last Action Hero would watch with Schwarzenegger in it. You know what I mean? It's so dumb, it's so predictable, but it's just so thoroughly entertaining from beginning to end. You watch this movie purely from an entertainment standpoint. And then we got to get to the scene that is probably more talked about than the actual movie itself, and that is, of course, the alligator scene. Or are they crocodiles? Notice how I don't care. But they're one of the two for sure, and it's the scene where he rendezvous with Vanessa Williams at the zoo to help her get away from the bad guys that are trying to kill her. He's almost out of bullets, shoots the water tank, and fucking alligators come out, and they're fucking attacking dudes, rips that dude's arm off.
Yes! That's awesome!
I mean, that's why you watch this movie. It is so stupid, but I love every single minute of it. I have always maintained that as long as a movie's entertaining, whether it's entertaining for so bad it's good purposes or whatever, as long as I get enjoyment out of it, you know, I'm not going to rag on it too hard. It's the movies that I find boring that I end up being a lot more critical on, because I'm not getting what I want whenever I watch a movie, which is entertainment value. Eraser is the type of movie that delivers the goods, as I call it. So anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Eraser. As you can tell, I absolutely love this movie. But I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? If you've seen this movie, do you like it? Do you love it? What are some of your favorite Schwarzenegger movies? And what are some of your favorite guilty pleasure action movies in general? Action movies that you know are stupid, that are filled with plot holes or logic inconsistencies. Mention them in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.